sipping Hennessy, president of suite, looking like a young Barack Obama. Skipping to the beat, giving hella heat. I'ma need a seat just to count up all these dots and commas. I think it's evident I'm the better man, I'm the jam. I'ma have you crushing like a four-wheel monster. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Weight up on my shoulders, all this jewelry on me. I wear my shades inside cause I go blind just looking down.
Looking like the man sipping Chardonnay on the balcony, looking like a young Elvis Presley. I've been overseas, I've been underneath, I ain't never seen nothing like a person 12 o'clock. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is part 2 of our recap of Carlos King's exclusive interview with Real Housewives of Atlanta star, or should I say almost former Real Housewives of Atlanta star, Kenya Summer Moore. We have a lot to unpack. I rewatched, I made clips. We got a lot to talk about. And members, you will have the first opportunity to call in and share your thoughts on this interview. So shout out to our members. If you would like to become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. As always, guys, don't forget to let me know where you are watching from. What's the temperature of where you're watching from? It's not that bad here in New York City. It's 80 degrees. There was a little bit of a breeze this morning. Not too bad. Not too bad. I see Team Toro is in the building. Uh-oh. look, uh-oh. No, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack, because Kenya's sharing her thoughts on where the season's going, her thoughts on Courtney, her thoughts on everything. And she's clapping back to all of you guys on Twitter. Go to Kenya Moore's Twitter. Homegirl is clapping back at a lot of you guys right now. Don't come for the shade assassin. Don't come for her unless she sends for you. Just saying. Hey, Rochelle, watching from Austria. Hey, VK, thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Let's get into a countdown. Let's get into all of this because there's a lot to talk about. And if you missed it earlier, we talked about a lot. We went from 90 Day Fiance, Big Brother, Hot Topics, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Rihanna. Congratulations to Serena Williams. She just gave birth to a baby girl, too. Shout out to all the Leos.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, do not forget to like the video. It's important to support the channel any way that you can, and liking is an easy and free way of doing that. Don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at 300,000 subscribers. Thank you to all of our subscribers, old and new. We appreciate you. You know, last week we did a part 1 recap of this interview with Carlos King and Kenya Moore. You know, it was just a couple of weeks ago that Carlos had an exclusive interview with former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes. So if you missed our recap of both parts of those conversations, it's worth going back and listening and watching, because a lot of our listeners and watchers and subscribers had strong opinions. Very strong opinions. And as always, I think people have very strong opinions about Kenya Moore. So, you know, we've been speculating since part 1. It's like, it sounds like Kenya's not happy. It sounds like Kenya might be leaving the Real Housewives. We'll unpack that, because she talks a little bit about some of the reasons why she might be unhappy currently with the show. But top of part 2 of this conversation with Carlos, Kenya is talking about Phaedra Parks. So, you know, Phaedra, Shady Faye, will be making a return to Bravo this season on Married to Medicine, because she's allegedly dating a doctor. But you also know that a lot of people have been asking, you want Phaedra back? But Phaedra won't be coming back as long as Candy's on this cast. But it looks like as long as Kenya's on this cast too, because Kenya has her own gripe with Phaedra. And that gripe stems all the way back to the rumors that maybe possibly Kenya tried to give Apollo a professional. Her too? No, wait, come on, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Calm down. Apollo was just on the last episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. He was well, all of Atlanta was invited to Sheree's sip and see, but he was there. So Apollo was there. All right. But you remember that rumor that, oh, she saw Apollo in LA and then she tried to hook up with Apollo. And Kenya reminds us, well, Phaedra was the one who orchestrated this rumor. Like she orchestrated the Candy Dungeon rumor. Orchestrated this rumor and told this rumor on Arsenio Hall. The same time that she was on there with Cynthia Bailey and Porsha Williams. They both were on there of Arsenio. I'm assuming this was the Arsenio when Arsenio came back to doing late night television, not the original Arsenio. All right, show my age. Focus. Okay. So not Porsha. Kenya seems still very much upset with it, because that rumor has continued to follow her till this day, even though it came out on the show that it wasn't true. Apollo said it wasn't true. Carlos says that Apollo came to him and told him that was a lie. And Carlos was like, well, I'm behind the scenes. I'm not supposed to exist. You need to tell her this on camera. And Kenya was very hesitant to even film with him, especially someone else's husband, because there's already been rumors about her hooking up with other people's husband. All right. So, yes, apparently Apollo was very nervous about saying this on camera. Maybe because Shady Faye has something on him. Come on, let's talk. Come on, let's talk about it. Shady Faye has something on Apollo. This is how Shady Faye did not get wrapped up in Apollo's, situation. Shady, come on, can we talk? Shady Faye must have something on Apollo or know something, because the way she did not get wrapped up, do you really believe that Shady Faye did not know that Apollo was still scamming? So, because my thing is, I wouldn't understand why Apollo would even be nervous to tell Kenya, yeah, it was a lie Phaedra made up. Well, it was his wife at the time. But I still feel like he was scared of Phaedra for whatever reason. Shady Faye, come on. You remember the book, the PDF that was on Amazon? You remember the book about their former partner? Allegedly. Is it still available on Amazon as a PDF? Y'all remember that book? Let me focus, because we could take all kinds of tangents today, and we're not going to do that. Nicole says, I bet she turned Apollo in. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I hope not. But then again, when I think about it, she really showed no boundaries to where she would go. Yes, Daniel, thank you so much for the name. I couldn't remember. You knew I couldn't remember the name. Angela Stanton. You remember she wrote the book Google Schmoogle It. I don't know if it's still available on Amazon as a PDF. But all kinds of stuff, and I believed half of it. Come on. All right, let me focus. All right. So at the top of this, Kenya is very irate about those rumors, because those rumors have continued to follow her, only for that to be dispelled on the show. But the rumor, as you know, a lot of people want to believe the lie in the rumor more than they want to believe the truth, even when the truth comes out. Of course, Carla wanted to use that moment to prove that, yeah, because people thought I came up with that rumor, and that was dispelled in a book. Was it? Was it, Carlos? People look, I've been one to say, well, Carlos has denied any association with the Phaedra dungeon rumors. But based off what, anyways, we do not want to get into tangents. Afro Sensible, you're not late. We just started. I was a little late, but we just started. So at the top of this interview right now, we're talking about Kenya's issues with Phaedra and why she will never see it for Phaedra, and why she feels Phaedra came after her, came after Candy. And here's the thing. I think a little bit of what Phaedra did to Kenya is also somewhat triggering, because remember last time we talked about this, we talked about how Kenya opened up to Phaedra about some of the things that went on with her childhood and her mom, and Phaedra ended up using those two things against her. All right. Oh, you know what, Megan? Thank you. Megan said the book is on Amazon for $12. Still, it's a PDF? Just asking. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying, though. Okay, wait, hold on. Johnny says, I heard no accountability at all, though. She had a megaphone in her face and glossed over that. Oh, in regards to the Porsha stuff, we'll get to the Porsha stuff in a second. So, okay, well, sidebar. Some of y'all still mad about stuff where these people have moved on. Just saying. Cindy says, yes, and we've said that too. Candy has, I think last year, she says she didn't believe that Carlos had anything to do with the rumors about the dungeon situation with Phaedra, because that's been a rumor that has lingered around him. We're still waiting on Carlos to answer about what Candy accused him of, though, stealing her life story. That's what we're waiting on. Aren't you? There's something else that in this interview that I feel that was missing, that I felt that should have been addressed. And okay, let me focus. So we have that at the top of this interview, her talking about her issues with Phaedra and that whole giving Apollo a professional. And she said that never happened. She was like, if it happened, tell me when, where. Because whatever you're talking about, I was out of town. This is what Kenya's saying. She's saying it never happened. Phaedra was never able to produce any sort of facts about when, where, or what happened. Besides, oh, this is what the rumor is. Very similar to what went on with Candy in the dungeon? Possibly. Okay. Let me focus, because I know I have a lot of notes here. A lot of notes, and I got a couple of clips that we're going to play. A couple of clips. All right. So moving on from the whole Phaedra situation, because they don't talk heavily about Phaedra, but they do talk a lot about Porsha. And as you know, Porsha and Kenya recently followed each other. However, Kenya says, well, no, they had been in communication for at least a year. However, she recently noticed that they weren't following each other, because some I don't even need to even get into it. It's just, immature Instagram pettiness. So, but that's why they ended up starting to follow each other. But they had been in conversation for a while now. So their beef, even after the Bolo situation, they sort of have let that go. Okay? All right. At one point, though, when they start talking about Porsha, because she said she doesn't really have any real beef with Porsha. Porsha that hasn't never really hit her below the belt. Right? Look.
And the other thing about Porsha, she has never hit me below the belt. I don't believe she's ever hit me below the belt. Like, she's hit me. No. Well, she pulling my hair.
Right. We'll get to that.
Right.
There were a couple of funny moments in part 2 that I really enjoyed. That was one of them where she talked about, well, she's never hit me below the belt. She's hit me, but she's never hit me below the belt. Okay? But at one point, before they get in too much into Porsha, she says there are 2 people that she feels that aren't good people. And Carlos confirms, oh, I know who you're talking about. And one of them I agree with. I already know Phaedra's one of them, and I don't think he agrees about Phaedra. So who's the other person? It's not Nene. Who do you guys think it is? Please let me know in the chat, because I was like, who does Phaedra, I mean not Phaedra, who does Kenya think that are the 2 people that aren't good? Oh, Marlo. I forgot. Thank you, y'all. Marlo. I forgot. Duh. Oh, so wait a second. So does Carlos agree about Phaedra? I thought he and Phaedra were friends. Because he just had Marlo on his podcast. So I wonder. Look. Ooh, Kim Zolciak. That's another really good choice. It could be Kim. I could see Kim. So maybe not Phaedra? I mean, she just went in on Phaedra at the top of this interview. Definitely I can see Marlo, but I can also see Kim Zolciak. Where's she been? She's been real quiet lately. Anyways. Okay. So they also discuss Porsha pulling her hair on television, and Kenya goes on to talk about how she has been very intentional about not fighting physically on television. She does not want to be that person. And she also feels like it's an eras thing. You know, like people that over the age of 40 probably were like, no, we don't do that. People that are younger than that, she feels like you can catch these hands. But she also wants to kind of let people know, don't try and test me. Don't try and test me. She didn't say I'm from Detroit, but I wanted to say it for her. Oh, because you're from Detroit. So they talk about that. But here was the interesting thing that I never thought about. You know, after the hair pulling situation, Kenya was a little concerned about being out in public. She says she likes going out alone in public, going out for a drink, going out for dinner, those types of things. But she said after that incident, she was actually concerned that fans would want to kind of recreate or mock her from that Porsha situation, because they believe that was a very polarizing situation that happened at that reunion. And I have to agree, it was. I remember those arguments. Those arguments from what happened then, those arguments reignited when the Monique and Candace situation happened about what went down at that reunion. But I'd never thought about, oh, wow, you know, Kenya was concerned that this might happen again. But from fans. I keep telling you about this Bravo universe. Hold on, y'all. Let me just save this. Okay. All right. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about part 2 of the Kenya Moore and Carlos King interview. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. All right. So she talked about that concern because Carlos had brought that up. Carlos also mentions, he says that Kenya and Porsha are the last peach holders that can't be replaced. That can't be replaced. And then when I think about it, I mean, they really are, because who has come and stayed since then? And remember, Porsha left of her own volition. Porsha could come back right now if she really wanted to. So for me, that kind of rings true that they're the last peach holders that can't be replaced. We can't count the OGs and things like, I mean, technically, Sheree could be replaced. She's been replaced multiple times and have come back. Some might say Phaedra is a peach holder that can't be replaced. I mean, I feel like everyone's replaceable, but I get what they're trying to say here. So she shows a lot of love for Porsha in this interview. And it's nice to see that they're in a good place. Remember, there was a point when they both were pregnant and they seemed to be working in a good place and then it went left. But now that they're both not on this machine called a reality show, I think that helps foster an actual real friendship when you're not under the scrutiny. You're not, you don't have the fans trying to pitch you against each other. You don't have producers trying to pitch you against each other. But she did show a lot of love for her. She says she feels as if Porsha probably would have wanted Kenya more so than Nene. She didn't say Nene, but I know what she was getting to. More so was trying to, would have wanted Kenya to be her big sister more than like a Nene. I could see that. It just went left with them. Their friendship just never took off for a variety of reasons. And it's not just what we've seen on the show. We can't just like, oh, it's because of this, this, and this, and this. No, I don't think it's just the show. I think there's a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. Then, of course, Carlos goes on to ask Kenya's thoughts on the state, the state of the new housewives. In part one, literally, Kenya was like, my process of getting on the show was very different. It was very hard to be a housewife on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was very much like Soho House, all right, where you have to know someone to get onto the show. And you had to audition before you got your contract. But now people like Drew Sidora, people like Sonia Richards-Ross are getting their contracts before they even meet the other housewives. So she doesn't love the casting process that they currently have. I wonder when this new casting process started. Was it really like these last couple of seasons? I mean, that's when, well, technically, Drew started 3 seasons ago. Oh, sidebar. I know it's not us, but let me just put out a disclaimer. Would y'all leave Eric Fuller alone? Come on. The executive producer of Real Housewives of Potomac and Atlanta. So a lot of you've been attacking him on social media, so much so the man had to lock his IG account. He had to lock his IG account because of the harassment of people on social media. I'm surprised it took him this long. I'm just saying. But leave him alone. It's just a show. You don't know these people. Not us. We get it. Mr. Mellon Imagine. Oh, I love seeing this picture. It's so funny to me. Says, I would say like season 13. That makes sense. That's when Drew started. Okay. So Kenya gives us a long pause. She gives us a long pause when Carlos asks her, do you think that they deserve their peach? So there's a long pause. A long pause. And then he's like, well, do you think that they earned their peach? And then she said, no. If we base it off of how the process was before when it comes to becoming a housewife on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I would say that both Drew and Sonia do not deserve their peach. I mean, she has a right to her opinion. Oh, wait, let me see you guys. Hold on. Let me just respond to this. Go on. Sir Kadeem says, Kemp, it is Eric, though. We saw it on RHOA. Okay. I'm not saying that you can't blame him. We've blamed him. We've said it's production's fault. However, no one should go over to his comment section, troll him, and harass him. We don't do that here. You can have your opinions. You can share your opinions all day long on social media. You don't have to go to their comment section. Do what we do over here. We talk behind their backs. Come on. We talk behind their backs, as it should be. I mean, eventually they see it because they come and watch us here. All right. I told you they stopped me at BravoCon. I'm going to hide this BravoCon. Leave me alone. Look, leave me alone. All right. So she doesn't like the process of casting. Kenya does not like the process of casting that's currently happening on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She doesn't like how Drew and Sonya have gotten their peaches. She doesn't believe that they earned it. She's not going to say that they didn't deserve it, especially on what they've brought so far. But the process of them getting on, she didn't like. Ooh, Kay says that, not you bringing into sports. Is this KSPN now? Kay says, Michael Jordan said that about new players signing contracts before they dribble. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, you guys don't know who Eric Fuller is? He's the executive producer of Real Housewives of Potomac in Atlanta. Okay, but leave him alone. Look, but leave him alone. Vivette says, Kenya cares about the success of RHOA and hate to see it crash. Production is a big part of the problem. No one should penalize other housewives because they have their favorite. We got a couple of super chats as well. Let me just save this. Hold on. Uh-oh. Let me see. Oh, how come it's not coming through? Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to save this. All right, I can't. All right. Cindy, thank you so much for the super chat. Cindy says, I don't think Kenya wants to leave. She wants the execs to perk up and do what needs to be done for the show. If Kenya leaves, I'm done with the show. She's the only reason I still watch. I don't think she wants to leave, but I feel like the signs that she's giving in this interview are saying otherwise, especially when she has a probably very good movie lined up coming out in the fall. V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, Phaedra is the reason I don't pick sides. She got me. I'm in the law field and I would never make up a lie on someone. She threw ethics out straight out the window. Yeah, that's the part people forget. I know you see Phaedra trying to be an Instagram model on social media. However, she is an attorney that has taken an oath. Just saying. She's lucky she didn't lose her license. Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. Brian says, great interview, but I don't like how he doesn't counter enough because Kenya still didn't acknowledge that she did come on flirting with Apollo very disrespectfully, and she had the bullhorn in Porsha's face. Well, this is, did you really expect that Carlos would give any sort of pushback to the people that he calls friends on the show? I didn't expect it. There are a couple of follow-up questions that I felt that should have been asked. Like, how about you saying on your podcast that Kenya and Kandi are an alliance? I'm surprised Kenya didn't bring that up. Why not? If we're talking about the show and we're talking about alliances, like according to Kenya, when they were in Portugal, she cursed them all out and called them out for their fake stories, their fake storylines, their fake relationships, their fake alliances. I was like, speaking of alliances, Carlos, can we talk about you saying that Kandi and Kenya have an alliance? Your friend Kenya said that to you on social media, on a public platform. Can we talk about that? Apparently not. Look, apparently not. All right. So they also talk about, they didn't really delve into Claudia, but Carlos did bring up the fact that Nene thought that Claudia gave her one of the best reads. We didn't get to see Kenya's reaction, but we heard her reaction. She was like, oh. Because I know she probably thought that Nene would say her. You know what I mean? That she was read down by Kenya Moore, Nene. I mean, there were some moments that Kenya had Nene like that. What was it? Season 13 reunion? Was it season 13? That was Nene's last reunion, right? No. Season 12 was her last reunion. Season 13 is when she was in the car trying to figure out if she was coming back. I can't remember all those details. But anyways, Kenya definitely had Nene shook in that reunion, and that was virtual. That was virtual. So hearing Kenya's reaction, I was like, huh. But they didn't delve too much into Claudia. They did delve into Eva being on the show, because you remember when Eva came on the show, Kenya was kicked off the show for that season because, you know, she had got out there, she'd get married and not do it for the show. So she talked about Eva and why she thought Eva is a great housewife and that she would love for Eva to come back. They've been saying that. Eva and a bunch of the ladies from Real Housewives of Atlanta have actually formed a real friendship outside of the show. Both Carlos and Kenya said when they were watching Eva on her first season, they were like, who is this Eva? This is not the Eva that we know. And a lot of you, some of you are like, you want Eva back. Some of you are like, no, she always tried to hide her real life off on the show. But you all enjoyed her on Ultimate Girls Trip. I don't know. I know she recently said in an interview that she wouldn't return though. And according to Carlos, at one point when he saw Eva, Eva was like, "We need you back." And he had never worked with her, but he had heard things about she had heard things about how he produced the show. He likes to tell you, look, Carlos likes to take a lot of credit for the success of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not going to take it away from him, but I also don't want to. It's like everyone giving credit for why Atlanta is what it is, just giving it to Nene. Yes, Nene was an important ingredient. She was an important ingredient. I told you she was that one ingredient that if you had it, it didn't taste the same. However, I don't know if I want to give that much credit to Carlos, because very much like what Cynthia said to Nene, well, this is the house that you built. Build another one. Carlos has tried to build other ones, and yes, some of them have been, pretty successful, but not as successful. Just saying. Just saying. Moving on, because we do have a lot to cover still. So Kenya talks about Marlo and how Marlo has ruined the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like Kenya is regurgitating a lot of what you guys are saying in our comment section. And she says she's ruined the show. She said you can't make a fan into a housewife. She also said you should never make a friend of into a housewife. Do you guys agree with that? I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I haven't really. How many friend ofs have we seen that we feel like that really should be upgraded? I mean, we got Mary Cosby, who's a friend of. I mean, remember, Mary Cosby on Salt Lake City started off as a friend of before she was even known to us. But it was the new production company that came in and upgraded her. They were like, this woman who lives in her closet, married to her step granddaddy. No, she needs to be full time. There aren't a lot of friend ofs that I feel that need to be upgraded. And I've never been one of those people that have said that Marlo needs to have a peach. And she's proved my point that she didn't need a peach. Let me just play this clip for you guys in regards to what Kenya had to say regarding Marlo.
Now, if she had come on, I'm just like, Tyra, we were rooting for you. Mm-hmm. We were rooting for you. Then you come on with this BS. You faking everything. Where's the house that she was building? Where's all the other stuff? Where are the... Explain to me why you have a chairlift in your house. Is it to help with the old white men going up to your bedroom? Why else would somebody have a chairlift in their house? This 30s, well, now she's 50, but why would you have a chairlift in your goddamn house? Tell me why. Go look at her interviews. In her interviews, it's a chairlift.
Tickled.
It is a chairlift in her house.
In the townhouse?
In the townhouse. Now, why you put, is anybody else that cannot walk that's in your house where you gotta put in a damn chairlift? Explain that to me.
Maybe she likes to, use it as a prop for having fun.
Okay, you gonna ride up your
staircase. I'm just trying to figure something out.
And your lingerie to the bedroom.
Look, the fact that she brought up the chairlift in this interview had me cackling. I was just like, oh, damn. I didn't expect her to bring that up. You've all seen the chairlift. Matter of fact, let me see. Hold on. I think, let me see if I can find the chairlift. Hold on. Because I know social media found it. I think Kenya reposted it. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Damn it. Where is the chairlift? I know I saw it somewhere. Damn it. Hold on. I'm going to find this sucker today because I want you guys to see it. Guys, as I'm trying to find it, be sure to like the video if you haven't already. I will be posting the call-in link for the general audience once we get to a certain amount of likes. However, if you're a member of the channel, I'll be posting the call-in link for you on the community tab. Okay, hold on. Let me just bring this up. Because y'all are a mess for finding this. You know, I was trying to find it too myself. I just did not have the time. I was in the middle of trying to prepare for this live. All right. We've talked about the chairlift before, though. We've talked about the chairlift before because I think when we started filming in this current season, yes, in this picture from the current season, from last season, I was just like, oh, wait a minute. Is that a chairlift that we're seeing? But my thing is, why wouldn't she remove the chairlift at this point? Unless she's still using it for, as Kenya just said, the men that she's bringing to the house. Look at the chairlift. The chairlift is still there. Why would you keep a chairlift if you're not using it anymore? I mean, I guess it could become helpful. You can put stuff on it. You can put stuff right on it and send it right on up. Dude, first of all, when I Google schmoogle chairlifts, they are expensive. A chairlift is very expensive. Well, she sent me when she brought up the chairlift. I was like, oh Lord, Kenya. Anyway, so she's not happy with what Marlo has brought to the show. She feels like Marlo is stinking up the place. But a lot of you have said this. A lot of you have said this about Marlo. Marlo should have just stayed a friend of. I agree. And as you know, earlier today, we posted a clip where we were talking about a part of this interview where Kenya feels as if production is protecting Marlo. Production is trying to, and she noticed this from last year's reunion on how the reunion played out. She was like, wait a minute, what's happening here? And it's become so obvious. And I thought at least this season that they would stop doing that, but it's very obvious that production is still, I don't know if protecting is the right word, but they have their own narrative that they want to paint about Marlo. That's not Marlo's truth. You know what I mean? All right. She also brings up, and I didn't expect her to bring this up either. All right. First of all, she's brought up what we've talked about. What happened to Marlo's home that she was building? What happened to that storyline? I was actually really interested in that because we love to see a storyline like that. We even seen Sheree and Kenya go to Marlo to the property. She talked a little bit about it on Watch What Happens Live, but it's sort of like her answer was still sort of like, what? So that was all a storyline. Now this season we have her talking to Scott Lee. That doesn't feel real to us. We just recapped it yesterday when Scott Lee showed up at this event. Their chemistry wasn't even there. Like they didn't even kiss on the mouth. It's more like, hey, how you doing? Naturally Nerdy says that Sonia Morgan was a friend of. No, she wasn't. She came in full time, but she came in like she came in mid-season. Like she wasn't on like the very first episode, but she came in as a full-time housewife. Kiana, thank you so much for the super chat. Kiana says, I think when Housewives started having podcasts and after shows sharing what really happens, that's when viewers stopped caring. What's the point of watching when it's shown isn't what happened? Very much so. But you know what could also be happening in regards to why people are not that interested in Real Housewives or reality TV is because, like you said, there's podcasts, but also people evolve. It's hard to make reality TV be real anymore because everyone has watched it. Everyone feels like they know the game, so they come in trying to play the game. Like what we've seen with some of the new housewives that have come on Real Housewives, any city. They feel like they know how to play this game, so it becomes a pre-produced situation. And then we also have producers. I'm not saying necessarily with Atlanta, but we have producers that are coming in trying to play this game as well and trying to produce storylines. Okay. So she brings up the fact that Marlo was building this house. What happened to the house? She was talking about the chairlift. Then she talks about how production protects Marlo. And here's the thing. I'm going to put on my psychology degree hat right now. Did you guys notice that Kenya got a little shaky in her voice when she talked about how production protected Marlo? And then she said, I was never protected, and that makes me effing angry. What does that sound like to you? What does that sound like to you? In part one, Kenya talked about how she did not feel protected when it came to her mom. So I feel like these triggers, and it doesn't have to be the other housewives, but production, the network, she didn't feel protected. So here's another scenario where she does not feel protected. And when you don't feel protected, you react the way that you probably reacted back the last time you didn't feel protected. Another reason why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be shocked if she's just like, I can't be in this environment anymore. It's triggering to me. No matter how great of a platform that it is. Shanisha says that, sounds like she is done. She feels underappreciated. And Carlos has said that he feels as if she's the most underappreciated housewife of all time. So she then brings up, because you all remember this. So if you know any of the side stories, the tea, the gossip in regards to housewives, you remember a lot of people said that Marlo did not get her peach because of the gay slur that she used. And she had denied it. And then, there's receipts on it. Isn't that when they were doing I can't remember. Her and Sheree? I don't look. There's so much I have to remember. There's certain things I just can't keep in the brain. All right. But I think that's when it was. You guys will remind me in the chat. So she brought that up during this reunion. Yes, the South Africa trip. All right. So look, the brain is working still. Yes. Okay. So she brings that up during the interview. Okay, let's move on. So Carlos says that he wants the show to be great because after he left the show, he's still told production, please feel free to reach out to me. He says he still speaks to people like Sheree. He still speaks to Kenya. He's the reason why Kenya ended up going to that party. Remember that one time that we got to see Kenya during her pregnancy? Remember that? So he says that he's the reason why she ended up going. He says, if you go, they will bring you back on the show. Because a lot of you did miss Kenya when she was being punished and you didn't see her that season. All right. So he said he encouraged her to go and she ended up going. All right. This is when they start talking about Courtney. So Courtney is going to be on Speak On It this week. All right. Which I find to be a choice. To be a very interesting choice. And I wonder if that is payback to Drew. Because, Kandi and Drew Kandi said this. They got into it. Her and Drew got into it and they're not in a good place. So I feel it's interesting that Kandi is having the cousin Courtney on her Speak On It. Dragging Drew. It's a choice. It's an interesting choice. So they talk about Courtney, and this is when Kenya talks about she doesn't want to give Courtney any time. And I'm mad that she even gave her a speck of time. Because you could tell, we've all could tell, that Courtney has been trying to have a moment on this show. All right? So Courtney doesn't have a house? Courtney's sleeping on someone's couch? Kenya then said why did Bryce have to catch a bullet in this whole situation? She said she dragged Bryce from the dead. I was like, come on. He's a nice guy. Leave him alone. I felt for poor Bryce, right? But she said that homegirls put in paper clips together and calling it jewelry. She's putting paper clips together and calling it jewelry. But Courtney's been all over the blogs recently, trying to get her story out there. Courtney, thank you for your services. We don't need you. But this is where Kenya confirms that she's bored. She's bored.
Have some relationship that's, a relationship that's meaningful. You're not talking about why you talk sideways. You're not talking about the fact that you put paper clips together and call that a jewelry line that no one is buying or even talking about. I don't have anything to work with. Give me something to work with. I'll give you a fight all day long.
Are you bored?
How can I not be bored? I got to work with people like Courtney. You weren't there! You weren't there! This is what I got to work with. I'm like, where's the hidden camera? Because this cannot be Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's got to be a hidden camera show.
Let me slow down chat because I didn't realize we had this many people in the building. I just went right on in. Let me slow down chat so I can see your comments. And shout out to all of you that have been sending super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, all of that. We appreciate your support. We normally see all of those after the live, but thank you to those of you that have sent in super chats. I will get to those in a second. Hold on. Let me just slow this down so that I can actually see what you guys are saying. I apologize. Okay. All righty then. Okay, there we go. And shout out to our King's Guards. We could not do this without them. We appreciate them being here as well. So don't forget to say hello to our King's Guards in the chat. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. Keep tapping your screens. We're talking about part 2 of Carlos King's exclusive interview with Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore. Mind you, I just recently saw a reminder clip, like an old flashback clip of Kenya during her Miss USA pageant. There were 2 judges hating on Kenya. 2 judges that were just hating on Kenya, but she still won. So, anyways, let me see what you guys are saying. Hold on. Swifty, not Swifty for life. No. Thank you for the super chat, Swifty for life. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Miss Concetiality. There we go. Thank you for the super chat. She says, Kempire, we want you on Speak On It. Well, don't hold your breath. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Guys, we're almost at 700 likes. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Let's get back into this because there's still more to unpack from Kenya's interview. So she goes in on Courtney. She dropped tea on Courtney that I had no idea. Courtney, are you sleeping on someone's couch? Not the Olivia Pope of Atlanta. Are you sleeping on someone's couch? You don't have a home? Just asking. I wonder if that gets addressed during her Speak On It. All right. So Kenya talks about what needs to be done in regards to this new season. Well, the future season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because I said to you before, if you've been watching part 1 and now part 2, it feels as if Kenya is done with the show. But she does say that she doesn't believe that a reboot needs to happen. We've talked about this too. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, of course she's just not going to want a reboot because that would mean that she would be out of a job. But I told you too, we have to remember what it took to get us a Real Housewives of New York reboot. That means no Atlanta for the next couple of seasons. Some of you might be like, okay. But they also had trouble casting for, was it season 14? They had trouble casting for season 14. So you don't think they're going to have trouble trying to do a whole new cast for season 16? And for Kenya said her ideal cast, which she says would be impossible, would be this cast from season 6. From season 6, this is the cast that Kenya would want. Phaedra. Look, I guess Phaedra. Look, I guess Phaedra. Hold on, let me just save this. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to do all this stuff behind the scenes at the same time. All right, there we go. So this is the cast that she would want. All right, Lord have mercy, this computer right now. So Phaedra, Cynthia, herself, of course, Nene, Porsha, and Kandi. But she says that this would be impossible, and I'm thinking probably impossible because of Kandi and Phaedra, but also Nene and the lawsuit with Nene. But she doesn't believe a reboot is even possible. And she said the same people that want a reboot of Atlanta are the same people that wanted Marlo to have a peach. She's shading the hell out of the fan. She's shading the hell out of the fans right now. She said that you are the same folks. Honestly, maybe you are the same folks that wanted Marlo to have a peach. Maybe. All right. Okay. So she then talks about how she cursed out the group in Portugal. She cussed out the group in Portugal for their fake friendships and relationships and alliances. She said, but that didn't make it to air because she broke the fourth wall. All right. And that's when I said to myself, I'm surprised that Kenya didn't ask Carlos or why he said that her and Kandi have an alliance. Is it really an alliance then? Because why wouldn't you address? I thought that she would at least confront Carlos on some of the things that he's been saying about the show. However, she did confirm some of his thoughts because Carlos said he stopped watching the season. He says he's bored. And apparently when he asked Kenya, you know, is this the worst season of Atlanta? And she said, I don't know if it's the worst season. And he was like, well, is it your worst season? And then she's like, well, yeah, it's probably the worst season that she's been a part of. That's not good, right? That's not good.
It's the hidden camera because this cannot be Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No,
It's gotta
I
be a
see.
hidden camera show.
A lot of it makes sense to me. And listen, I know that to be true because I watch it and I'm like, this show is not what it used to be. What do you think it'll take for the show to get back to it being number one? It now may be number 4. Number 1's Below Deck. Number 2 is Beverly Hills.
I think that's changed. Below Deck may not be number 1.
Who's number 1?
You
Oh,
probably,
Vanderpump. Well, this past season, but
yeah, I don't know if you can count that. You gotta do some serious casting changes for sure. I don't think the answer is a reboot. I know they've been tossing that around. You know, you hear the fans or whatever tossing that kind of stuff around. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Because y'all are the same people that asked for Marlo to have a peach, and look where we are now. Be very careful. Be very careful.
Sweet 16 is next season. Who is Kenya Moore's wish list if this was More Vision Media producing the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Who would Kenya Moore like to play with on the Sweet 16 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I kind of just already said it, right? You know, listen, I want to play with anyone that is going to be good, authentic TV. And of course, if you want to think about the nostalgic years, you got to go to season 6 for that. I mean, you got to go to season 6 for that.
Cynthia, Kandi, Kenya, Nene, Phaedra, Porsha.
That's the dream team, but that will never happen. That will never happen. So we can't, I can't give you that list because that is an impossible list and it will never happen. So alternatively, you're going to have to give me some girls that can anchor the show. Of course, I need to be there. You need to have me activated, Kenya. I cannot be activated looking at all the craziness that's going on around me. And in fact, in Portugal, I cursed everybody out at the table. Of course, they're not going to show that. I cursed everybody out at the table. I cursed everybody out. And I say curse, I wasn't using curse words.
Yeah, but why would you?
Because I am sitting there looking at the fakery of it all, the the dumb shit that people are doing. And I just said, you guys are ruining the show.
You broke the fourth wall.
Yeah, I did. I said, you are ruining the show. You are ruining the show with this fake storylines, coming here with these fake beefs, manufactured drama. You're not really talking to each other. You're making it seem, you're having these alliances. You're coaching the new girls. You're just clearly ruining the show. And I said it. I said what I said, to quote Nene.
Ooh. A lot of you feel the same way that Kenya does about the show, and apparently Carlos does as well. And this week we did a separate report talking about how Kenya's hair care salon, that I think we all, even if you're not a Kenya fan, we all were excited to see this. I did not expect Kenya to make this sort of business move when it came to her hair care business. And she feels like production really dropped the ball on covering her hair care business, the growth, the brand over the last few seasons, which I can say like they've covered it a little bit, but they haven't really covered it heavily. And she says she feels like that's done a disservice to the audience, that the audience have said countless times that they would love to see this. And they point out, well, we've seen Candy, build restaurants this season. We see her doing a play. We saw She by Sheree. So why aren't we seeing this whole situation with Kenya Moore Hair Care be built? The business and now this hair salon. And we're not going to see the hair salon at all, apparently. And Kenya has seen all the episodes. So if she's saying still after the reunion that we're not going to see this, unless they slip it in now, but it was a whole group event. The only person that wasn't at this group event was Marlo. I really wanted to see all of this play out. What happened to the scene with Brooklyn and Kenya's daddy? What happened to that? Maybe we'll see it next week on the finale? I mean, I would like to see it. I like seeing businesses and things like that. And a lot of you apparently as well like to see it. Some of you still are not interested in Kenya Moore or anything that has to do with Kenya Moore. Do I think Kenya Moore could carry her own show? I don't think she could necessarily carry her own show. I think Kenya works well with others when it comes to bringing it. And we've said this before during our Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps. It does feel like Kenya's bored. It does feel like she's not activated this season. She doesn't have good adversaries. She doesn't have people that bring out what people have loved about Kenya throughout the years. Okay? So she then goes on to talk about what's in the future for Kenya Moore. Because yes, we could talk about and rehash all the drama that happened in this recap, but I also don't want to lose the fact that Kenya wants to talk about her brand and what she's working on. Right now, I believe Kenya Moore Hair Care is in 5,000 stores by the end of the year. She wants to, the goal is to be in 20,000 stores. She said that she started working on Kenya Moore Hair Care when she was at the reunion of season 5. That's when she started developing the idea for Kenya Moore Hair Care. Season 5 reunion, her first season. And look how far it's come. She is dating. She's still dating Roy, but they're not exclusive. He's the white boy on her roster. That's what she said. All right. Carlos gives her a suggestion. I could see you dating an athlete, a basketball player or something like that. And I like that Kenya saw more for herself. She's like, I can see myself dating an owner. When I was in my 20s, and I agree, Kenya, when I was in my 20s, I could see myself dating an athlete. But at 50-something years old, I want to date an owner. This is what I love about Kenya. I was like, that's a perfect response. You grown. And aim high instead of an athlete. Date an owner. All right? Then she talked about going on a date. Because Carlos asked about, famous men that she's dated. So she does confirm she went on a date with Kanye West. And this date went left real quick because after being with him at the studio, she went back to his place. I guess he had to get something. He's up. She's like, where did he go? She hears noise coming from somewhere. Kanye has always been weird. Kanye was in the room, not doing anything, but Korn was on the television. The real question is what type of corn? See, come on. These are the questions. These are the follow-up questions, Carlos, you're supposed to ask. What kind of corn was he watching? So casually, as if it was Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she's called him. She said he was weird. She said she would never go. She would never go on another date with him. Kanye's always been weird. So then she talks about how she's already sort of written a memoir and she just has to rewrite it because, I mean, a lot has happened in her life since then. She's also written a screenplay for, about her life, and she would love to play her own mother. Isn't that interesting? I actually kind of want to see that, her play her own mother. And then Carlos says that I can see Coco Jones playing you. I hate when we do this. Look, I hate when we do this. Y'all do know that there are so many up and coming actresses and actors that would love to play these roles that you guys keep assigning to people that don't have any acting experience. And I'm not saying Coco Jones wouldn't do a bang up job. Coco Jones has a phenomenal voice. She's a beautiful woman. Beautiful. But you know how many other beautiful women that probably could play, that have studied acting, that could play Kenya Moore? Just saying. I love me some Coco Jones too, but come on. Stop with that. My TikTok says, "Oh, Coco's an actress." I ain't seen nothing in it. I've never seen her in something. But I just hate the fact that as soon as we see someone, we can make that should be the person. No, we need auditions. We need auditions. Everyone needs to audition. Oh, she was in Bel Air? Anyways. So Carlos wants Coco to play Kenya Moore in a movie, and he wants to produce it. Okay, y'all all saying the same thing. We know Coco has some acting experience, but still, I want auditions. Moving along. So Carlos says he wants to produce the movie. Kenya literally brushes over the fact that that he wants to produce a movie, produce her movie. Brushes over it. And she mentions that she has a movie coming out in the fall. She says that after people see this movie in the fall, people will never doubt her talent as an actress again. I was like, all right. Vajilia, you're a mess. Vajilia says Carlos needs to worry about his own life story and telling it accurately. Esther, y'all notice how Kenya kept on ignoring Carlos's insinuations to work with her on some sort of project. And in part one, she pointed out, well, we could produce this particular project, but we're going to be co-creators on it. I was like, all right. You guys are so... All right. Moving on. What else? I did have to give Carlos credit. I did like the advice that Carlos gave Kenya at the end of this interview in regards to stop allowing people to take advantage of her, both personally and professionally. Because as he said throughout the interview, that he feels like she's the most, what did he say? Underrated housewife or underrated reality TV star. So I thought I liked the way that it ended in regards to this. And if I had to rate this interview overall, I probably would rate it probably a 9. Of course, there could be more questions that are asked, but I didn't feel like it was going to be that type of interview. You know what I mean? So if you are a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you guys first on the community tab. And everyone's going to get a minute. Oh, misunderstood. Thank you, Kat. I couldn't remember. And unappreciated. Misunderstood, an unappreciated housewife or reality star of all time. All right. Let me drop the call-in link. Let me drop the call-in link here. If you are a senior royal, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you first. Hold on. Let me get the link first. If y'all don't stop, I know some of you guys are on the replay. Yes, we have come to the conclusion that Coco Jones is an actress. Okay, I only know her from music though. Just saying. All right, let me drop the call-in link. Hold on. Again, guys, if you're watching on TikTok, we're going to be ending the live because you won't be able to hear the callers when they call in, but we appreciate you all tapping your screens and being here watching from behind the scenes. All right, let me just do this. Okay, Senior Royals, we dropped the call-in link for Senior Royals. Royal Court members, we're dropping the call-in link next for you. Team Kempire members, we're going to drop the call-in link next for you. Hold on. Let me answer this. Monet says, why don't you watch Bel Air? What's up with that? If you weren't here for Tuesday Takeover, the amount of shows that I watch, I can't keep up with all the shows. I can't keep up with all the shows that I watch. All right. If you're a member of the channel, we dropped the call-in link for you. Let me just say thank you. Hold on a second. Gwen says, didn't her and Candy support Marlo getting a peach? Correct me if I'm wrong. No, they did. They did. I think they probably regret it because they didn't expect her to do what she's done with the position that she's been given. Because they did advocate for her to get a peach. They both have said that. All right. All right. If you're a member of the channel, we dropped the call-in link for you. I'm just going to read the super chats. Thank you, Cindy, for the super chat. Cindy says, Kenya still got it. Bring on someone who she can play with. She was reading in part 2, and I was here for it. All right. Thank you, Cindy, for the super chat. Live chat, we will drop the call-in link. We have 2,200 people in the building. I'll drop the link once we get to 1,000 likes. If we don't get to 1,000 likes, it's fine. I'm sure we'll get there after the live is ended. Shout out to our replay crew. Be sure to let us know what you thought of this interview with Kenya Moore. All right, Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat. Sharon says, Nene said Marlo shouldn't have a peach. Well, she said that in a previous interview. She didn't say in the recent interview. She said it before. She's been inconsistent with that. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says there's something up with YouTube. It doesn't allow you on notifications that are set. I'm annoyed because I set this aside and now I'm 30 minutes late. Sorry, Zoe, but thank you for the super chat. Yeah, the notifications, make sure that you guys are still subscribed because that is also a thing on YouTube where they will unsubscribe you as well. Nia, thank you so much for being a member for almost 2 years. Nia says, I really love this interview. I always loved Kenya and was glad Carlos showed others the best parts of her. I hope the Married to Medicine ladies watch their backs for Phaedra because once a snake, always a snake. Ooh. Look, ooh. Ooh. All right. Thank you so much for your monthly support. All right. TikTok, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to end the live, but if you want to hear the callers, head on over to YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or Twitter at TheKempire, Kempire Daily. On YouTube, it's Kempire. Head on over there. You'll be able to hear the folks that are there. All right. All right. Moving on. Okay. Let's get to some of the callers. Let me just switch this out and then put up my disclaimer. All right. Okay. All right. Let me close this. And all right. All right, members. First of all, shout out to our members. We appreciate their monthly support. Again, if you would like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. All right. We're going to bring up Alex first because, Alex has opinions. But remember, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, our sponsors, or the YouTube or Google. All right. All right. Let's bring up Alex first. Alex, thoughts on this Kenya Moore interview?
Hey, Kempire, you're heavy on those opinions do not represent me, especially when it comes to me,
Yeah,
because
of course.
I'm a little wild sometimes. Yep. Um, so with Kenya, I loved her interview. I like her so much more now after the interview. Carlos, please, after Nene and Kenya get off the topic of Real Housewives of Atlanta, all your shows are burning and are horrible, and you are heavy on how bad Real Housewives of Atlanta is, while your shows over on OWN are doing way worse. How is your interview with Kenya doing better than those shows? Let's talk about that. Using a RHOA star, not a married to
Love and
something
Marriage?
Huntsville, Love and Marriage star. It's so I don't know. It's so insignificant. I don't even remember the name. Kenya, let's not brush over how you were very flirtatious with Apollo in the beginning when you first came on the show. Although Phaedra is very shady and has done some bad things for sure, I still ride with Phaedra. I'm sorry. Please don't come for me, Team Twirl. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Kenya, let's also not brush over what you did to Kim Fields and how you treated her because you were jealous of how much more famous she is compared to you, and that she is a better actress than you. Although I don't know about your new movie that's coming out in fall. I'm going to go watch it if it's in movie theaters. Hopefully it's not on Tubi or Freebie. But if it's in theaters, I will go watch it.
Your minute is up, Alex. The timer just did not go off.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Take care. Hey, Twads in the chat. Shout out to everyone. Guys, again, we do not moderate adults, but shout out to our King's Guards. We know everyone has their favorites or whatever and their opinions. Let's respect everyone's opinions in the chat, okay? All right. Let's bring up Brooklyn Star next. Hold on. What's going on, Brooklyn Star?
Hey, sorry. Hi, how are you?
No problem. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to say I love the interview because, I'm a member of Team Twirl. I think I love the way Kenya sidestepped every time Carlos was dry begging to get on her projects. Like, she's a producer as well. And, I just love that fact. I think this week has not been a good week for Phaedra, actually. I think all the castmates are exposing what she was really doing. And as Kenya was talking, I just kept remembering Apollo getting dressed, jumping into that red BMW, remember, with his briefcase, going to a job of nowhere. That was crazy to me because I'm just like, yeah, they were really, it is really fake, like what's going on. I think they're phasing Kenya out, and if they phase her out, I'm going to twirl out with her. My Sundays nights are going to be free. I might join a book club or something, but yeah, I will not be watching because there's nobody strong enough to hold that up. So, yeah. And the worst thing about this interview is the merch commercials. Nobody wants that merch, Carlos. Nobody. I don't want anything with raindrops on it or rain whatever kingdom. Nobody wants it, but that's all.
Yo, this way. I swear, Carlos, I did not pay these people, but they speak their minds. Thanks, Brooklyn Star. Bye. Brooklyn basically said what I was thinking, though. All right. Sharon's backstage. We're going to bring Sharon up next. What's going on, Sharon?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I was wondering why Carlos didn't bring up the fact what is that girl's name? Manchetta, not Manchetta, the other one, Courtney. What Courtney said on that interview about Kenya being mean to the production crew. I wonder why he didn't ask her that. And the last caller was correct. He stopped in the middle of the interview to do a to do a commercial. That made me mad. But that's all I had today.
Thank you, Sharon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Y'all get mad at that raindrops commercial. Get your merch. All right. Guys, we're almost at 900 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes and I'll drop the caller link for the general audience. If not, it's fine. We have a lot of members backstage that want to share their thoughts on the Carlos King interview with Kenya Moore. Let me just say thank you. We just got a super chat. Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nia says, let's be honest, Kenya apologized multiple times to Phaedra, and Kenya has also mentioned in interviews that what she did to Kim was not right. She always makes sure to own up to her wrongs. Okay. Let's bring up Miss Bernice next. What's going on, Miss Bernice?
What up, though? What up, though? Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
People, Courtney, with that saying she mean to production. Remember, she said in the interview that she went off on all of them. So of course, Courtney gonna come back and say what she's mean to production. No, she was talking to y'all.
Good point.
Really? Come on now, people. Put on. You gotta watch your third eye. Your third eye. Come on. Carlos, I love you, baby. You went to Finney. You graduated from Finney. Graduated from Wayne State. You graduated from Cass Tech. Graduated from Wayne State. If you don't use this woman with her hair care product on Bubba Marriage Detroit, instead of bringing Marceau weak butt in there, being a mentor to men when he can't mentor his damn self, come on. And I would love to see her do a guest appearance and show the women how to brand themselves, like she has built her product over the years and is in so many stores and her salon. And I just want her to tell off LaToya. Ooh, Anthony's wife. Just check her one good time for me, please. But other than that, I enjoyed it. She spoke her truth, and I will. All these haters can stop saying, well, she just mean. You saw her. She spoke her truth. You either like her or you don't like her. But Alex, baby, I'm just gonna pray for you, baby. I love you. But
thank you, Miss Bernice.
Okay, kiddo. Hurry up and go eat. I know you ain't ate.
Thanks. Bye. Y'all can see I'm waning. I'm like, oh, all right. Let me get to the rest of these callers. Oh wait, let me say thank you. We had a super chat. Lauren, thank you so much for the super chat. Lauren says, hey babe, just finished working and just started listening. While I don't think Kenya is always innocent, she is an amazing asset to RHOA. Disappointing to see Bravo continue to disrespect their black talent. Carlos is still trash. Come on, you have to add that last part. Come on. Carlos, this is not me. This is not me. But Lauren, thank you so much for the super chat. All right. A mess. Noah, I'm going to bring you up next. What's going on, Noah?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Every caller so far is making me laugh. I'm trying to catch my breath. Y'all are really, really funny. I was gonna say, going off of everything what everyone's saying though, it's just like the producers these last couple of seasons have been disheartening to a lot of the people on the show. It's like we're missing so much from them because I'm rewatching the seasons again, and I'm like, how come we don't know more about Sheree's like son and like her like pretty much becoming a grandmother? How can we not know more about Kenya's store? How can we not know more about like SOV and Escape? Give me more tea about that. Like, I just want to know what's going on with their side gigs, and I feel like we're missing that part. I definitely miss like knowing these girls. So I understand like Kenya's like really annoyed and like bored right now. It's understandable, but it's just like sad. Like, what happened to the full stories of just them being themselves? You know what I mean? So it's just sad. But y'all have a great day though.
You too. Thank you for calling in.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. We're going to bring up V next. We haven't seen V in a minute. What's going on, V? V, you're muted. V.
Hey,
oh, there we go.
You?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a minute, I know. But I just wanted to say real quickly, I do, honestly, at first I didn't like Kenya, but I feel like that was the way that they portrayed her. So we didn't really get a lot of insight on who Kenya really was because they didn't show the whole picture. So I didn't like her because of her relationship with Porsha, and I just feel like she was would antagonize people. And again, like I said earlier, Phaedra fooled me. I still like Phaedra, but it's just aspects of her I don't like or whatever. But this interview did show a better side of her. And if was it just me or was Carlos giving his pitch allegedly?
Pitch for what?
for Bravo to come and get him back again. He kept saying, I'll be here. You know, do you need me to come? Like I told him to always reach out to me. So I took it as he was trying to get Bravo to know, like, hey, if you need me, I'll come back. So to me, that was a pitch, allegedly. But however, overall, I think the interview was needed. It provided some insight. But yeah, other than that, I just want to say, hey.
Okay, thank you, V, for calling in.
All right.
Bye. I didn't think about that. This is why I love when you guys call in. You give me your perception of this interview. It's very possible. He has said that he would return, but he would want to return at, with his own production company. But I don't know if that's going to be an option. I also don't think that we want that. Lightwork says, Kempire, do you think Kenya's strategy of doing this interview is to prove she brings ratings and has fans on her side will work in her favor over at Bravo? I mean, I did think that. I don't know, honestly, but she's definitely being taking this opportunity to air out her grievances so that, remember, this is the time when they're negotiating their contracts. So I do think that this interview is strategic. Just saying. Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because a lot of you are now, because we've started the conversation, whether or not is Kenya Moore coming back to the show, a lot of you are voicing your opinions like, no, we want to see Kenya on our screens. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Chris says, Kenya is a star and rejuvenated the show. Phaedra is a fraud and who accused another woman of SA. Phaedra's lies damaged the show. Thank you for the super chat, Chris. And let me say thank you, Asia. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel as well. Guys, if you're watching the replay of this, be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Someone asked, I did see the question. Someone asked me, why do you call them the replay crew? Because we're live right now, and these are the people that are watching the replay later. So shout out to the replay crew. Hey, replay crew, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know your thoughts on the interview. And you don't have to mention, we know now that Coco Jones is an actress. We got the update. All right. Let's bring up Brandy next. And I will drop the call-in link. We are almost at 1,000 likes. We got over almost 2,200 people in the building. Are you guys just watching and hating? Why do that? That can't be good for you. I'm just saying. All right, let me bring up Brandy. What's going on, Brandy?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I was just going to say that I did not like Kenya either when she first came on. Like, I wanted to, but I couldn't get with the whole Apollo mess and her attitude and energy sometimes. But I will say that the last couple of seasons, especially since having Brooklyn, I've really grown to love her. But as far as Carlos, I'm gonna need him to really boss up and act like a Leo and cover everything. Like,
he's not a Leo.
Acknowledge the good and the bad when talking to his faves, because I mean, I would just want to ask her, how would she feel now that she's been married, like the way she was flirting with Apollo was so blatant and disrespectful, as well as the Kim Field situation. I mean, like, what was the reason? Like, in Cardi B's ways. But to give her the benefit of the doubt, maybe she would own her mistakes or past behaviors. However, according to you, that would be expecting too much of Carlos.
All right. Thank you, Brady, for calling in.
Thank you.
Take care. Y'all are our best. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. We might get to 1,000 likes. We still have a few members backstage. First of all, thank you to our members. We do appreciate your monthly support. They help us to talk about a lot of topics that advertisers don't necessarily like. That's why certain videos will get limited ads. And your monthly support helps us keep the lights on, keeps us keep growing and elevating what we do here on the Kempire channel. So shout out to all of you that watch, support, and contribute. You can also contribute by telling a friend to tell a friend about what we're doing here. And a lot of you do that. Because I hear from you like, oh yeah, I heard from my coworker, I heard from my mother, or da-da-da. I hear your voice in the house. I love that. I love that. Keep spreading the word. That's the only way that we are able to continue to build the Kempire here on YouTube, on on Twitch, Twitter, on Facebook. So if you haven't followed us there, be sure to follow us there. And if you haven't as well, subscribe to the Kempire Radio podcast. That a new episode came out over the weekend. Wait, is this getting as annoying as Carlos and his merchandise ad? Sorry. Go get my merch. Okay. We've got TG. TG's backstage. What's going on, TG?
Hi, Dimples. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. Excuse my voice. I'm a little hoarse.
Oh, it's all right.
I just want to say that I did love the interview, and I agree with everything that Kenya stated and had been saying from the beginning of the season, that I also felt it was production more than anything else. That being said, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I just have to say, I'm sick of people talking about what happened season 5 when Kenya came and she said Apollo was fine. He is fine. That being said, let's give some of that smoke to Apollo, who disrespected his wife. Stop acting like Kenya only flirted and said some things and giggled when Apollo came in her face and played with her, and Apollo was just so innocent. And the truth be told, if you go back and you watch the episodes, Phaedra never really seemed like she had a problem with anything until after her and Kenya fell out about the videos. Remember, they were going to work together on a video, and then it became a competition and so on and so forth. So everyone, just get over your past relationships with your boyfriend cheating on you and let it go.
Oh, TG. Didn't Apollo at one point, I forgot, they were all like on a cash trip, and Apollo lift Kenya up and threw her in the pool?
Yes, he went and ran. Kenya was minding her business.
Yeah.
He went from one side and ran to the other and grabbed her and jumped in the pool.
See, I look, elephant brain's working. Thank you for reminding me, TG.
But that's Kenya's fault. She was looking good in that bathing suit.
Oh, thanks, TG. Take care. Y'all are a mess. Okay. Oh, guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. I'm going to drop the call-in link in the good favor that we will get to 1,000 likes by the time we get to the next caller. So I'm going to drop the call-in link. All right. And everyone's getting a minute. It's dinner time. I'm hungry. Okay. Let me bring up Born to Win. Born to Win's backstage. What's going on, Born to Win?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good, good. All right. So I'm Team Twirl.
Oh.
And I'm a Gemini. So I first want to just tell you that you need to stop calling us as Geminis. Last time you were like, oh, like a Gemini. And then you play the little soundbite, you know what you do when it comes to Gemini.
I do it to everyone, though.
I love you. I absolutely adore you. But I don't like how y'all be trying to play us on here. I'm a June Gemini, just to be very
I just want to let you know you got 30 seconds.
I know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The last caller did say something, even though I'm Team Twirl, that Apollo pool, but Kenya did push him first. And then he came back around and then he pushed her in the pool. Yeah, so I just want to be honest about that. I love Kenya to that, but I'm just saying that she did push him first. But to over. Now, Porsha had her flaws too moving forward in the seasons where now she's, Fallon's ex-husband. I feel like everybody has done something similar in things that everyone has an issue with Kenya. Marlo have done some terrible things on the show. And I just feel like everyone just hold Kenya as a villain. And I don't think she was a villain. I honestly feel like she's always just her part.
All right, Born to Win, you're breaking up now and your time is up. So I'm going to have to drop you. But thank you so much for calling in. And I won't shade Geminis while you're still in the backstage. I shade all the signs, including Tauruses. So it's all right. We will be strong. Okay? All right. We are the back. So for those of you that didn't get the backstage link, I feel sorry for you because the backstage is already full. All right, so let's get to the rest of the callers. We still have a couple. We have our last member backstage, who is Zoe. Hey, Zoe, what's going on?
How you doing, my baby?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm loving how I called you my baby. That time you were like way older than me. I'm like, shit. I should be saying, hi, daddy.
What do you have to say about this interview?
I love Kenya to death. In my opinion, she is the greatest housewife that ever graced the screen. I don't care what anyone has to say. It was born a star. Like she's amazing. She has her flaws. She's not perfect. She has her flaws. But I'm good with everything she does. And then I want to use the remaining time to say, stop hating on Geminis.
Oh, you're a Gemini?
I'm a May Gemini and I love you so much. But I feel like you guys are like pounding on us. I'm like, why do people hate us so much? I know
don't feel
we're
like I'm that bad to
crazy.
Geminis. I feel like I'm worse to other signs. Have you heard me talk about Cancers?
I don't know. I just feel like people hate Geminis. I'm like,
I don't hate
know
Geminis.
we're crazy, but we're good crazy. And when you got bad crazy, we're bad crazy. There's not race signs. Leave us alone, you guys. We're fine. But before my time run up, before I
It's
go,
already done. It's already done, Zoe. Thank you for calling. Bye.
I love you, babe.
Bye.
Good show, good everything. But
Thank you.
good night.
Bye.
Love ya.
I don't feel like I give Geminis a bad time. Like I'll do a little shade. I feel like other signs get it a lot worse from me. Just saying. If you're new to the channel, yeah, we talk about astrological signs here a lot. All right. We've got Anthony backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up next. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey,
Anthony from Los Angeles, California. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. So I'm going to give this interview an 8 out of 10. I love Kenya. I thought this was better than Nini's interview just because she spoke more about production in this current season since she is a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish she would have spoken more about that season 6 reunion in terms of her part with the scepter and megaphone. Some accountability on that. And then for one other part, I would... I just thought I was the wrong interviewer because Carlos King is a mess and I need him to stop. Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye. Y'all are so shady. Carlos, I promise you, I did not encourage these people. They are encouraged to speak their minds. I can't help that they think what they think, okay? All right. Shanisha's backstage. We're going to bring up Shanisha next. What's going on, Shanisha?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So let me just say, production is 100% out of line for having Todd's Tubi movie make it to the season finale event versus Kenya opening her very first brick and mortar. Completely out of line. Now, I am Team Twirl, but I will say I do understand why Courtney does not like Kenya.
Oh.
Kenya made Courtney spend her whole RHOA check on Mommy Nation now. She probably went into the red. I would not like Kenya either, okay? Last but not least, I want people to stop bringing up things Kenya has done in the past that can be applied to all the women a part of the franchise. These women have all had their moments. So I just find it interesting when people continuously bring up old moments that Kenya has already vouched to, already apologized for. Like, give people room to grow. That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, Shanisha.
Thank you.
Bye. Perfect timing, too. See, look. Carlos is doing a good job. See? Lady J says, now don't start on Cancer. Don't start with Cancer. I just said, I feel like I'm harder on Cancer. I feel like all the signs get it for me, but I'm hard. Actually, not all the signs get it for me. I don't really shade Sagittarius. I think Virgos probably get it harder for me, honestly. And they're my sister sign. Oh, not my sister sign. They're Earth sign. Okay. All right. Bumblebee's backstage. We're going to bring up Bumblebee next. What's going on, Bumblebee?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. What I would like to say is I know I have 30 seconds. All the girls talking about Kenya on this broadcast, this little chat. They're jealous. And Kenya is perfect. She has long hair, real hair, a beautiful body, and she has self-esteem. The girls cannot stand when a chocolate babe has self-esteem. And the whole Apollo thing, first of all, Apollo's not attractive and he's a criminal. The thing about it is that they're mad that Apollo wasn't going after them. You know, a beautiful girl cannot catch a break because Nene was flirting with Greg. it's because Nene has a moose face that people are not
Come
upset
on.
because they know, I don't care, they know that
No,
an
come on.
unattractive girl like Nene could never steal someone's man, but Kenya, she can, and that's why all the unattractive girls are mad. They're mad.
Okay. All right, Bumblebee. I had to drop you because you are violating our rules. Okay? We're not making fun of people in the way that they look. All right? Please note that. Next time, if you come back and you do that, you will be blocked. We have a zero tolerance policy in regards to that. Thank you. Cammy Cam's backstage. We're going to bring up Cammy Cam next. What's going on, Cammy Cam?
Hey,
You're breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
No, it's breaking up. What's going on?
I don't know. Every time I call in, it's a fail.
Are you on? Oh wait, are you on Trash Mobile? No, I'm playing. What is going on, Cammy? Oh, it sounds so bad. Oh, Cammy, what Boost Mobile are you using? It's all right, Cammy. Are you in the house? Cammy?
No, you can't hear me.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
it's bad. It's bad. Cam, it's okay. It's okay. Next time, though.
I'm gonna try to go back in.
Okay, try and call back. We got a line, so try and call back. I will pull you ahead of the line, but try and call back. With the Boost Mobile, it's going on. No, I'm not shading poor Cammy. It happens. It's not necessarily your phone line. Sometimes it's StreamYard. It's the internet. Let me focus. Southern Girl's backstage. We're gonna bring up Southern Girl next. Let's go to Southern Girl.
Hey, Kempire, my Torian brother. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Good. I thought it was a good interview. It was very insightful. I think production is being exposed, which they need to. We don't get to see the other side of their storylines and what they do and how to make their money. That's what we wanted to see. That's how Housewives was in the beginning anyway. And now it's all this petty drama and you're adding these extra fans in there as castmates. It's not that good. So I just wanted to say it was a good interview. I don't really like Carlos King. I'm not Team Toro, but I give her credit and I give her respect for that. Also, I just wanted to say we Tauruses, we do love Geminis. I have 2 twin Geminis in my house. My sons are twins and they are the sign of Gemini. They're May Geminis. So yes, we love Geminis, but my Taurian brother, please get some dinner. Want to say you guys have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
And bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Doesn't Beyonce had Sir and Rumi, aren't they? They're May Geminis, right? Look, Keisha, I'm trying. Keisha says, I love how Kempire will hang up on you, but be polite about it. I'm trying. I try. All right, let me get to the we have a long line, and y'all know it's dinner time, and I still have to meditate for the second time in a row. All right, let me bring up, hold on. Ooh, I gotta move my camera. Audrey's backstage. We're gonna bring Audrey up next. What's going on, Audrey?
Hi, Kempire, calling from Mexico on my vacation again.
Must be
Day 2,
nice.
It's been fabulous. Yeah, it's been fabulous. I watched bits and pieces of it because I've been going back. I had a spa appointment, darling. But I just want people to remember Kenya is a pageant winner, not a contestant. She is very good at this. I thought the interview was really well done. I think she addressed a lot of things that needed to be addressed. I think, real quickly, I think the question about whether or not there should be a reboot, and she said, be careful about that. And when she was talking about that, it really does come down to casting. I don't know if you saw how much they've been dragging Eric on Beyonce's internet's right. But I think there needs to be an overhaul, not just with the cast, but behind the scenes. So that's just my take. I thought it was a good interview. Remember, she is a pageant winner. She is not a pageant, contestant. She knows how to answer questions. She's been in this game for a long time. She knows what she's doing. It was an excellent interview. Kempire, you always do a fantastic job. From media person to media person. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a great day, honey.
Thank you, Audrey. Enjoy your trip and your spa. Okay. All right. Alexandra's backstage, but let me position myself. I'm like leaning too much. All right. All right, guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Carlos King exclusive interview with Kenya Summer Moore. If you missed it, of course, as always, we cite our sources, so be sure to check out Carlos's interview, and don't forget to drop your crowns and elephants in the chat and remind him who sent you. Also, guys, be sure to check out everything in the description of this video on social media that you need to know, the podcast, all of that, our merch, things like that. All that information is available in the description. And as always, don't forget to say hello to our King's Guards that are holding down the chat, that are having very challenging conversations, because we got Team Twirl in the building. We got people that don't like Team Twirl or Kenya. We can all be here and have a differing opinion and still love each other, okay? All right, love might be a strong word. Alexandra's backstage. We're going to bring Alexandra up next. What's going on, Alexandra?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
This is my first time calling, and I'm so nervous.
It's okay. It's all right.
I just want to say that I love your content. I love everything you do. I support you, and I'm a Taurus. I love everybody. And I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. You're awesome.
Thank you, Alexandra. I appreciate you. When were you born?
Thank you. May 1st.
Oh, okay, you're a May baby, because there's a difference between the April Tauruses
Yes.
and the May ones.
Yes, I know. No, I'm a May baby. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I just want to say I love you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
See, I shade Tauruses too, except the May ones. Oh no, except Drew. Oh. Anyways. All right, let's bring up Marie next. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Bring up Marie. Hold on one second. I'm trying to maneuver my mouse here. There we go. Marie, what's going on?
Hi, Hi, Kempire. Sorry, I'm eating pasta listening to you. It's okay if you have an astrology sister or brother that you don't like. J-Lo, I have the same birthday as her. She's not my favorite. I don't know her, so I agree.
Oh.
Anyway, shout out to Leos. I have a timer, so I make sure I don't go over. So Eric, this is not the first time that he has made his Instagram private. This is probably like the second time this season, and I think maybe once last season or with RHOP. I'm not sure, but this isn't the first time. He's been dragged multiple times, and it's RHOA fans. It's really not RHOP fans. I can't watch that show for some reason because it's too much. We can reboot the show, but it's not going to help if production's the same. If they're producing Love and Hip Hop quality. Mean Girls. I know that they'd say that Kenya is a mean girl. I consider Phaedra and Marlo a mean girl because when I think about the worst moments, I think about I'm sorry. I think about Phaedra when she gave that sperm donor read, and I think about Marlo when she said, that's why your mother didn't want you, and whatever else she said off camera about Brooklyn a few seasons later. So if we're going to call Kenya a mean girl, we need to spread that and share it with everybody. It seems like Marlo fans ignore that, but have a good day. Have a good dinner. Bye.
Thank you. They're Marlo fans? All right. Shady Gal's backstage. We're going to bring up Shady Gal next. What's going on, Shady Gal? You're muted, Shady Gal. Shady Gal, are you there? Shady Gal, where are you? Okay, I got to drop you. Shady Gal, I'll come back just in case. All right. We got Marlo's chairlift backstage. Hold on. Marlo's chairlift, what's going on?
What's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to try to be fast. I got 30 seconds.
Not 30 seconds,
Carlo,
a minute.
Love and marriage choice. Oh, a minute? I got a minute?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, well, now you got to restart.
Y'all are ridiculous this week. Is it a full moon? Okay. Are you ready?
Let me go. I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Okay. Carlos, Love and Marriage Detroit highest viewership was 215,000. Bell Collective was 197,000. Love and Marriage Huntsville was 572,000. Well, 1,100. Whatever. I'm not smart at math, y'all. Meanwhile, the Nene Leakes interview has already hit 1 mil. Honey, hang up the producer's hat. You are a certified struggling podcaster. Emphasis on the struggling, because once you run out of housewives to leech off of, All that's left is that dreadful personality and horrible speaking voice. Okay? I don't like you. Phaedra is a Bible thumping mean girl that would sell your soul for a thong bikini. I want y'all to forget about that Apollo situation just like Phaedra forgot when her due date was. Okay? And that's all I got to say because I got some chicken frying.
Oh, go get rub it in. All right, bye. Wait, what did you say?
I said I'm cooking some greens, some red beans and rice, some cornbread, and I'm frying some chicken.
I should have let you down because you know what? All right. All right, let's get to the rest of the callers, guys, because now I am starting to get hungry because now everyone's calling in and telling me what they're eating. Okay. All right. We got Salt and Pepper Natural backstage. We're going to bring them up next. What's going on, Salt and Pepper Natural? You're muted, Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper, are you there?
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm out here in Texas. I'm trying to pull over so I can talk to you. I'm out here on the ranch. But I am Team Phaedra. I am Team Marlo. So I wanted to make sure I stayed on the line.
Okay.
And it's so funny, Kenya talking about that she needs to be activated. Well, the person that could activate you would be Phaedra, but you and Candy are scared to have her on the show. So that I don't understand. But she was very dry this season, and Candy barely showed up on the show. So, and from what I can see, I don't think that Andy is very impressed with Candy this season. So as far as, Kenya saying, fans need to be careful and all this other stuff, I think that her and Candy need to be careful and not be so, smug about and confident about how long they both have on the show. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing Phaedra on Married to Medicine.
Okay. Salt and Pepper, thank you for calling in.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. We're going to try Cammy Cam again. Hold on. Cammy Cam, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I use the work computer. I'm like, obviously me and this iPhone is not getting along. My son ran upstairs laughing at me like, our Wi-Fi sucks. So I'm just yelling, can you hear me?
Okay, Gabby, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
And I'm a member, but I can't even find that community tab either. So here it is. Okay, I tried last time in part 1. So I wanted to say fired up, CT fired up. Yes, that's my high school mantra. And I am here for Kendra because she is my technician sister. And I do feel like somebody mentioned it earlier. I do think it's strategic. I don't think she's checked out yet. I think it's like you said, she's airing her grievances. She knows it's going to get back to the producers, and she's playing hardball. I think it's either going to go one way or the other. Either they're going to give her some, screen time for Kenya Moore hair care and maybe some more money, or they're going to be like, whatever, and she can walk away with her pride and move on to bigger things. But side note, completely unrelated, because I know I went in my little story that I went to school, or we went to the same school, but she was a few years before us. But you know who I actually graduated with?
Who?
Real quick. Nico, a.k.a. Uncle Clifford from The Pink. We were actually in the same graduating class. Yes, he was our only male marionette. He was loud and proud, which was like admirable back then because this is the 90s.
Not down in the valley where the girls get
Yes. We
Oh.
graduated together. But his Wikipedia says 34, and that's not true.
Oh,
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks,
Talk to you later. Glad I finally made it.
Thank you. Bye. She is shady. I love y'all. Okay. All right. Guys, keep liking the video. We're already at 1,100 likes. These callers have been off the chain this week. If you missed our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap, go listen to that. That was a mess. Go listen to that. And be sure to check out some of the videos that we posted, especially our short content. And as I mentioned before, some of you are saying that you're not being notified on YouTube or Facebook or on our other social media platforms. Please ensure that you're still subscribed. Please ensure that you're still following as well, because sometimes that I don't know what's going on with social media, specifically on YouTube platforms. Some people get unsubscribed, so resubscribe. All right, if anything. All right. I'm gonna mispronounce this. I think. Look, the way my list is set up, Stasia or not Stasia? Hold on. I know you've called in before. How do I pronounce your name again?
It's pronounced Sasha.
Sasha. I know it. Damn it. What's going on, Sasha?
I hope you're doing well today.
I am. I'm tired though at this point.
Well, I'm an Aquarius, so by default, I've always loved Kenya. I've kind of understood, even though she's done some off the wall things, I've kind of understood that nature. And the only other thing I had to say is I feel like the RHOA producers, they're probably all calling Andy saying, I don't want to be a part of the panel no more because I don't want to have to face people at BravoCon.
Oh.
Because if they're coming for them so hard on social media, I cannot wait to hear about how the panels are going to go, especially if anybody's a member of RHOA.
Good point. Especially Eric. Was Eric at BravoCon? I don't recall. I think he might have been. I don't remember. I didn't see him though. When the producers came up to me, it wasn't Eric. It was some of the other producers. All right, Sasha. Anything else?
Nope, that's all I had to say. I hope everybody has a great day.
You too. Thanks for calling in. All right. Let's get to Mrs. Felton. What's going on, Mrs. Felton? Mrs. Felton, I can't hear you. Oh, wait. Sorry. Sorry. There we go. Miss Felton, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. So I've liked Kenya since I was 13 years old, and she won Miss USA. So that's how long I've been a fan. I've been a fan pre-Housewives.
Wow. Okay.
I remember when being a little dark-skinned little girl, because I used to watch pageants when I was little. So she was the first little person that looked like me that won a pageant. I remember her Pantene commercial. So like, you know, growing up seeing somebody who looked like me on TV, that was aspirational. So when I found out she was coming to Housewives, I was like locked in. I was already watching Housewives before she got up there. So when I found out she was coming on the show, I was like, oh my God, Kenya Moore is coming on this show. I'm definitely locked in now. Like, so I've been liking her. So watching the interview, it was just like, you know, it just cleared up a whole lot of other things for me. I mean, I enjoyed it. I watched part 1 last week. Can't wait for part 2 to come out. And I don't like how they're phasing her out. I don't like how they're giving Marlo this whole arc about a redemption arc so early in the season. They've never given Kenya a redemption arc. Like, she kind of had to go on girls trip and be among all these other different housewives to kind of give herself a redemption arc, to see her among all these other different women and show like, hey, you know, oh, she isn't that bad. She isn't that bad of a person. And I saw all these comments. It's like, well, why was she so mean to Kim Fields? People act like Kim Fields was super nice to her. Even when her and Sheree and Kim Fields sat down, Sheree even told Kim, you know, you are a little condescending. You are a little, you know, you can be a little rude. When the whole situation, when they went to Miami and that man got all up in Kim Fields, all up in Kenya's face, with Tammy's nephew, the only person that even saw Kenya's point was Candy. Kim was on everybody's side. Kim was like, well, she could have did this. If she was along with Porsha, Sheree, Phaedra, and everybody else on their side, and it was a whole grown-ass man screaming in that lady's face.
Okay.
Even with so it's just like she can't win for losing. They never, ever give her any credit, even when she right. Was she right for pulling the chair from under Kim? No, she won't. But was Kim hurt? No. But she has apologized. Her and Vivica got over their little issues. And that wasn't even on Real Housewives. That was on a completely different network, on a completely different show. But they still try to bring that up.
Okay. All right, Mrs.
Porsha
Felton.
got 3 physical. I just want to say this one thing. Porsha got 3 physical fights, but nobody ever mentions that. They all make it seem like Porscha, that's this sweet angel. She chased the girl down the street trying to fight her, she tried to fight her baby grandma.
All right, Mrs. Felton, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. All right, we're gonna take these last couple of callers. Callers, please respect the time. It's now dinner time. You know how I get.
You don't want this voice.
All right, Retha's backstage. We're gonna bring Retha up next. What's going on, Retha?
Good evening, Cam. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Oh my goodness, the callers today are on fire.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Ever since. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, all I just want to say is that. Oh, what's going on? Can you hear me still?
I can.
Oh, okay, good. All I want to say is that when the devil can't reach you, he sends you a man, and that man is a Gemini or a Pisces.
That's all you wanted to say?
That's all. Good night.
Good night, Retha. Y'all are a mess. See, I'm not even shading Geminis. And now they're shading the Pisces. Pisces are like how I get in it. All right. I'm going to bring up a Taurus, though. Judgy Justice is backstage. What's going on, Judgy Justice?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm so happy I could finally have some good signals so I could jump in here. So I really enjoyed this one better than the first one. Part I felt like this was more playful. I think she kind of warmed up, maybe had more liquor. I don't know, but it was giving a good vibe. And also I think I'm a little concerned now about Phaedra and like how her what everybody's gonna think when she's on Married to Medicine now, because now there's 2 people saying that she was snake in the grass. Now 3, Carlos 2, but I mean, is it really a snake if you with her in the grass? And then also the thing with Kanye made me laugh. Like I almost got in trouble at my cubicle watching it. I was like, I knew our brother was touched, but I didn't know it was just that deep that he would walk out of the room. And then I'm happy that her and Porsha are finally in a better place. I wish they would, I wish they would maybe do a little spin-off, like a little short series of them, like Girls in the City with their 2 daughters and all that. That'd be something fun and cute and really kind of wrap up their storylines. I'm gonna leave that at that because I'm about to have some Chick-fil-A.
Goodbye, Judge Justice. You got to add that last part. Oh my goodness. All right. Wait a second. Samira says most serial killers are Pisces, just an FYI. I mean, I've heard that before. Who's second? Virgos? Google schmoogle that. Someone Google schmoogle that before we end the live. Who's second? And if Pisces are number 1, who's second? Definitely not Tauruses. Just say, I can tell you already. It's definitely not Tauruses. Shout out to everyone that called in. We do appreciate you all taking time out of your day. And I know it's not easy, especially when we talk about Real Housewives, or we talk about reality TV, or we talk about Team Twirl versus everyone. It's not easy to call in and share your thoughts and your opinions. So please create a safe space for people sharing their thoughts and opinions in the live chat, but also in the comment section. All right. Please create a safe space for them. Alex, I see you called back in. I'm not bringing you back up. I'm getting out of here. So thank you to all of our King's Guards for holding us down and holding the chat down during these very challenging, sometimes, conversations. Thank you to our channel members. We appreciate their monthly support. To become a channel member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. And we also have merch. Head on over to houseofkempire.com and check out our merch that a lot of you have been wearing. And you've been telling me, oh, I saw someone in your t-shirt the other day. I appreciate that. There's new merch available at houseofkempire.com. But for everything Kempire, head over to TheKempire.com. Click our podcast, click our shop button. All the things are available there. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next video, the next live. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already and turn on your notification. All right. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. Can't believe it's Tuesday. Let's play some music before we get out of here. Let me pick a good song.
begotten my best life, yeah. You begotten my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You begotten my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know. I just want you. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. But what's my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Yeah, but what's my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know. I just want you, know. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh.
Hold on. I hope you didn't leave. I hope you didn't leave. The other day, I forgot someone's super chat that I want to mention, but we also had 4 other super chats backstage. So I hope you guys didn't leave. I hope you didn't leave. Are you still here? Are you still here? Some of the people that left are going to be so mad. I hope the people that sent the super chats did not leave, because I do want to say thank you. I did not forget about your super chat. I mean, I almost did. look, to be honest with you, I almost did. But let me first just mention the super chat that we had the other day that I did not get to see. I hope this person sees that I did save the super chat that I did want to say thank you for. Hold on. Jameer Stewart, thank you so much for the super chat from yesterday. Jameer said Candy's face when Bob said twins, it was funny AF. Also, if Marlo showed more of her business side, she would be more interesting. Her man though, he fine to me. I love them older Jamaican uncle. Thank you, Jameer, for the super chat. Nia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nia says, now Kempire, what's wrong with cancers? I didn't say there was anything wrong. Staniel, thank you so much for the super chat. Staniel says he loves to shade us Virgos. Yeah, see, if y'all see, I shade everyone. Zoe, thank you so much for another super chat. Zoe says, we love Kempire. Sometimes we call just to laugh in the middle of a storm. Kenya has to leave. It's not worth it for her anymore. Time is up. Hashtag Gemini. Thank you, Zoe, for the super chat. Thank you for another super chat. Zoe says, Kenya was too professional for me. I wanted her to drop names and be nasty. She did opposite. Team twirl all day at a nastiness at an acceptable level. Thank you so much for those super chats. We appreciate you. And shout out to everyone that watches from around the world here. We're very lucky to have a large community of you guys watching internationally. So I know some of you end up watching this when you wake up in the morning, so in a few hours from now. So good morning, good afternoon, good night. I will see you all in the next live video. Let's get out of here. Talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a